that you know of right now?
We're doing a little test here. We're getting ready to go live, everyone. I guess we are kind of live. Don't need this light. Got pretty good light in here, everyone. $38 people. 7 o'clock rolled around. Hey everybody, Campervan Kevin here. Well, this is our live chat number 2. Sitting inside the BT Cruiser. I'm in Nevada, near Las Vegas. Thought the winds had died down. Was hoping to do it outside. Nope. So we're inside. I've got Mike and Stephanie from Van Life Sheldon's Travels. They're in the driver's seat and the passenger seat. They're my moderators tonight. Want to let everybody know from the get-go. I try to run a family-friendly channel. If you have anything nasty to say, feel free to email me, but please keep it off my chats. Yes?
Yep. People are being really nice.
All right, we're starting to cook. So, we're trying to be very much more prepared than last time. We were in Sedona, Arizona, and the night prior to the last chat, Mike and Stephanie, they did a live chat, had perfect internet. We were at the same spot at the same time. Didn't work. So right now we are on T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon on all of our devices. So we're hoping we're covered. And the spot we have right now has some of the highest, fastest internet I've ever seen anywhere. I was hitting somewhere around 40 to 60 megabytes per second download speed. Incredible. Upload speeds were in 25 or so. All right, here we are. How many people we got? 292 people. Good gracious.
And it's a lot of hellos and highs and a really...
See, I'm turning to an old man, and these glasses, I have to look out the bottom to read the chat down here. But we got Tucker right here. He's sacked out. He couldn't stay up for the chat, I don't guess. And baby May May, she's got the she's kind of sweet on Mike here. And Martini, they've had a hard day playing outside. Oh, come here, baby. Yep, woke up my babies. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about.
George says the video looks good in Miami.
All right. How hot is it down there? I heard it got down to freezing last night in Georgia. Is that right? Oh, here he comes. Tucker's like, hey man, the camera's on. We were down fishing today, and Tucker got in some fishing line, and we got that off of him, and he got a kookaburra and got that out of his foot, but he stepped on something, and I think it stung him. So we kind of had a scare today. I gave him some Benadryl, and he was licking his foot, but he's a lot better now. I gave him a little bit too much Benadryl. He slept for like 2 hours.
Was 75 today in West Virginia and Teen Smith.
I hear you. But, yep, Mike and Stephanie and I, we've been traveling together now for a couple weeks. We got a new buddy named Wes. He's from Athens. He's going to be traveling with us. Not exactly sure where we're headed after this. We were in Sedona and woke up one day, and 300 and something miles later, we're sitting in Las Vegas.
Lena said it's 29 in Michigan, staying in my camper. Power to you.
Yeah, the only problem we're having is wind. I'm going to have a video come out tomorrow, talk a little bit more about the wind, but we had 80 mile an hour gust here, and this RV was shaking side to side, and I was blocking them. The last time I saw wind like that was over there at Joshua Tree, and I thought for sure we were going to flip then.
I had somebody ask, how is Felix?
Felix. Yep. Hey buddy, I know you're probably watching. Yeah, you know, Felix, he's got a really good job, and he wants to be out here so bad he can't stand it, but he's got health benefits, he's got all other kind of benefits, and so he's saving up to come out, but I sure do miss him. Sure do miss him. I never had a friend that looked like him or talked like him or anything. Felix is a complete individual, but he's got to be one of the best people there is.
Power On is our first super chat for today. It says, "Hi Kevin, me and my wife Sherry love your YouTube channel. Shout out to the Wolf Pack."
Woof. But Felix is getting his rig ready, and I got a feeling, good job or not good job, he can't stay home much longer. He's got the itch for the road so bad he can't stand it, and I miss him. I like to travel with him. I'm real blessed to have as many friends as I've got, and as many friends like you guys that I've made. But yeah, we were in Las Vegas, and we went back to the same place that Eric and Brian and Aja and I went to, and that's now a pay lot. So you can pay to stay there for $10 a night, just 2 blocks from the strip. But there's a lot in front of the Stratosphere Casino. It's free. So we stayed there for a few days.
Dennis said, "How big is base camp acreage?"
Right under 5 acres. And base camp is nothing fancy. It's just a place to go to. It's funny, I've got out here and I've started. It seems kind of silly now to own any property or own anything. The West is free. You got $1 million views, and you just have to change them every 14 days and move down the road a few miles.
Any coyote problems?
Matter of fact, I caught 2 coyotes here, just outside of Las Vegas. I got them on film. I got about 10 minutes of footage, and I got to see they were at great distance, so the video's kind of shaky. But then they came up and crossed behind our trucks about 100 feet. The first one was a female. She was smaller. And then the next one, he was a big male. One of the biggest. They say the coyotes here aren't as big as they are in Georgia, but that's the biggest male I've ever seen. He had to be over 60 pounds. And they looked healthy, so they're getting plenty of food around this where we're at.
We'd like to say thank you to Yolanda Venture for a $20 donation on Super Chat.
That's
very nice. What are the ages of the 3 dogs?
Martini is the oldest. I got her 6 Christmases ago. 6. Yep. So she's over 6, and she was already 8 to 10 weeks old. I had a dog at the time. Her name was Taya, and come here, baby. So Martini is she's the eldest of the wolf pack. After I had her about a year, my other dog died. Just old age. She was a little lab, made it over 20 years. And then she learned a whole lot from Taya. So she was kind of trained on the job. But I started taking her to work with me, putting her in my pocket. Took her in every store I went to, and anybody that wanted to hold her and pet her, I handed her off, and we got a real sociable dog. Baby May May, she came from a breeder in Watkinsville, Georgia, and she's got good papers and everything, but it was kind of a real bad situation. There was 15 Yorkies in the house running around. They wasn't taken care of, and she was 5 months old when I got her. And she was picked on real bad by the other dogs. She was the baby. And then I think the lady that had them was just crazy. She just wasn't right in the head. And the house wasn't clean. But I had to give a fortune for her. But I only gave the lady half of what she wanted. So baby May May is 3.5, pushing 4. Tucker is the same age. You can look back at my, one of my most favorite videos is Free Yorkie. And I had my camera the day that I got him, and I just rolled the footage. Didn't know how it was going to turn out. I wasn't very good at editing then, but it's one of my favorite videos. So you guys check that out. You see the story where I got Tuck. And also I've got another video called Why Do I Have 3 Yorkies? And that'll answer a lot of questions, and you see the baby pictures of Martini and everything. So that's real fun.
Clayton is another super chat, and he gave you $10.
Do the dogs ever fight? It's a good question, right? They all have their own personalities, so that's a whole nother issue, right?
Baby May May is a follower, and she doesn't want any trouble with anybody, so she hangs back. Martini, she's the alpha. She's a female, but she's the alpha, and she runs the show. Martini, I see your tail shaking. She's about 7.5 pounds, maybe 8 in the wintertime. Tucker's 12, 13 pounds, and she can whoop him. Especially, they play fight a lot, but there's no blood drawn. But sometimes Martini will just see him out and about, and Tucker's not paying any attention. She'll get a running start. She'll run 10, 20 feet, and she'll put her shoulder into him and knock him over just to keep him in line.
We got Hula. She donated $20.
Treats for the wolf pack.
Oh, thank you very much.
Caravan Carolyn says, "Hey, buddy. What do you like about having 3 dogs, and are there any coyote problems?"
Where I'm at, there are coyote problems. In fact, we had last year. I had the rangers tell me, be careful, watch your dogs, because we have a coyote problem. And usually I just open the door, let them out, and they all go pee within about 10, 15 feet, and they come back. Well, that night they growled, and then I remembered what the ranger told me. So I took them out one by one. When I got them back in, I sat down on my bed, and I had these big windows open right here, and I heard the coyotes, like 5 or 6, run underneath my rig. They were snarling and snapping and yipping at each other. There's no doubt in my mind, if I would have let these babies go, I'd have lost every one. But I have seen 2 coyotes today, and I got them on camera. Don't know how the filming or editing is going to work out, because it was kind of great distance. But maybe I can make something out of it. If nothing else, at least have it on Patreon.
Patricia Seaborn says, "I can't send money, but when I meet you, I'm gonna make you a hell of a meal."
Woo!
Ooh, so you got dinner coming.
What about hawks, rattlesnakes, eagles? Any problems like that in the area?
That is the problem, and it's a constant worry for me, and even more so out west here. I always, growing up on the East Coast, I always imagined that the desert was dead. Just rocks and sand and cactus and stuff. I was wrong. I've been out here in the desert now for 6 months. It's my 2nd trip out here. There is more life in this desert than the mountains ever thought about being. Tucker, I think he got stung on his foot this morning, and I was like, what if it was a scorpion? The babies, they like to dig. I'm getting all these kind of people telling me, so, when you step out of your vehicle, step long out. When you step in, stand as far back as you can and step in to avoid getting bit by a rattlesnake. I think any of us that are out here living this mobile lifestyle, whether it be a van or an RV or a truck camper or a Prevo, we're all pushing the limits of pet ownership. But we're also, my little dogs are living a life that a lot of animals, some people don't even get to see. So if it may shorten their life, something may happen, God forbid, I don't want it to happen, but if it does, I would like to at least think my little dogs are living a better life. And the same thing could happen to me as well.
You remember the person that brought you spaghetti in Vegas? They're on, and they like to say hi. So a little shout out to them. I cannot pronounce Antonette. Antoinette.
Yep.
I did not want to mess that up.
And her husband. We were parked under the Space Needle, and I got a knock on the door, and I kind of recognized him, but it took me a minute because I only met her husband one time. They have a Class A, and they were, I think it's a Southwind, and they were parked down at the other side of the parking lot. And he handed me a big plate full of spaghetti and garlic bread. Ooh, like I needed it. Vegas is nice once, but I went back 2 or 3 times last year. I got my hat, I've ate at Wahlburgers 3 times. I've seen the water show a couple times. I don't gamble. I gambled one time in Harrah's Casino in Cherokee, and I put in $10. Click, click, click. And you're not a winner. And I said, well, I'm done with that. So I had to fight through the cigarette smoke to get out. And that Caroline, she tried to teach me how to gamble down near Algodones. There's a casino down there, and they tried to show me. So I think that's one thing that it's good that I didn't pick up real good. Kind of like drinking, you know. Everybody keeps asking me, Kevin, do you drink? Mike, Stephanie, I drink very, 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 very little.
Maybe one beer, if maybe two.
You might have seen
wine cooler.
Wine cooler.
Or, yeah, that's. I mean, on 2 occasions in the last month that we've been traveling together,
and that's been a splurging.
That's been splurging. Exactly.
In my life, I may have had a dozen beer, but I love the way a wine cooler tastes. So I might buy a 4-pack once every 2 or 3 months. We were at Ehrenberg, and Dan, the Blue Van Man, he handed me, I think it was a Busch beer. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I'd ever been so thirsty in my life. And I think that was the first beer that I finished, top to bottom, bottom to top, while it was cold. So no, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, not to amount to anything. I never picked it up.
We have a lot of questions about your tracker. What kind of tent top are you looking for? How long do you think it's going to be till you get it?
Well,
and also, here's one about the tow. Question on the tracker. Tow dolly or 4-wheel on the ground tow? Which do you think is best?
Well, the tracker, I've had 4 Samurais and 3 trackers now. And all of those that are 4-wheel drive, and maybe the 2-wheel drive, but I've only had 4-wheel drive, all of those could be flat towed. And I've had 87s to 96s. I can't speak for all of them, but I can tell you what I've got experience with. I don't feel any weight back there. I don't notice them. I can't even see them behind my mirrors. So they are safe to flat tow. Put the transfer case in neutral. The automatic I put in park. The 5-speed I put in second. And they tow great. So, you know, a tow dolly would just add extra weight. And if you don't need it, you know, I wouldn't do it. Nothing wrong with a tow dolly. A tow dolly, when I bought this BT Cruiser, I went to South Carolina, and I had my my little minivan then, and I tow dollied it, and this V10 pulled it just fine. A lot of people ask me, what kind of gas mileage you get in the V10? Now this is important. I've had 3 V10s. I had Bob the Bug Out Bus. I got a video of that. You can look. It's my most popular video. Then I have Bigfoot. I had Bigfoot. And then I had this one. Bob was 22 feet. I think this RV is 21 or 22 feet. And then Bigfoot was over 30 feet. Or right at 30 feet. They all got the same fuel mileage. Whether it's a Class C or Class B, it matters not. Whether it's 20 feet or 30 feet, it matters not. You're going to get 8.5 to 10.5 without a tow. My very worst mileage towing the tracker was 7.2, but I was 25 miles an hour for going up a mountain for forever. I average about 8.5. I average about 8.5 towing, and I average about 10 not towing.
But you need to also talk about how, even though you might not have any difference in gas mileage, but what about the difference in parking on a big rig and a small rig?
You know, having the short rig, being 21, 22 feet, it was nice. I could park anywhere. As soon as I put this tow behind it, I had to give all that up. But what I can do is, like at a Walmart, I can pull through one parking spot to the other parking spot. So like 2 cars would normally be front bumper to front bumper. I fit perfectly in that spot. So the short as the tracker is, as short as this RV is, I'm not like I was pulling it with a Bigfoot. Oh, everybody, a lot of people don't know what happened to the Bigfoot. Why don't you talk about the Bigfoot? That's probably my biggest mistake on YouTube yet. The people that bought it, I just want to protect their privacy. I didn't make a video about it. Everybody that goes back and looks through my history tries to find it. I didn't make a video. But I sold it to purchase this BT Cruiser. Do I regret it? I like the BT Cruiser and I like the Bigfoot. Would I do it again? I'd have to toss a coin. They're both fine. And lately, I've been saying that the BT Cruiser is not the greatest quality. It's just cookie cutter. It's just average. Me and Mike and Stephanie, we got off road in Prescott, looking for some BLM land. We were off road for 5 or 6 hours. I went down a dirt road, and we couldn't turn around. And I met this old man and woman coming up in a SUV 4x4. And I got out and I said, hey, is there a place that we can turn around down here? Because we can turn around right here, but it's going to take a lot of work. He said, oh yeah, about a half mile down. Big place to turn around. There's a campground. You can come right back out. He lied. We went in about a mile, and Mike was in front of me. The road narrowed up. I went down a hill. It reminded me of Dome Rocks, what it did. And this thing started sliding, and we had the walkie-talkies, and I got up on Mike's butt going down, and I said, move. I wasn't nice about it. I screamed. I said, move, get out of here. And he floored it and got out, and I just didn't get down. And then we got to the bottom. I said, Mike, I can't go back up. We got in there, and we were meeting Jeeps. We were meeting $40,000 rigs and side-by-sides, and the look on their faces. They said, what are you doing here? I said, well, I came from up there. A forest ranger gave us the information to go there.
And we were basically going up the back way to Crown King, Arizona. If you don't know where that is, Google that place and you'll realize we were in the middle of nowhere.
So we got down in there, and I couldn't get back out. Towing or not towing. So we're meeting Jeeps and stuff in the road, all jacked up, 6-8 inches of suspension, all these bad toys, and they're meeting a Class C RV towing a 4x4 in the back. And the look on their faces was absolutely priceless. And they said, you can't be here. I said, I can't go back. And they said, well, you can't go forward. I said, I don't have a choice. That's where I'm going. I said, either that or they're going to have to airlift me down a torch. We're going to cut this thing up and pull it out in pieces. And I have you know that with spotters and help, I got this thing out in one piece. I hit some of the plumbing up under here, $25, fixed it, and I had a Jeep. It was so narrow, he tried to pass me. His tire hit my generator exhaust pipe and broke it, and then he hit my tire with his front wheel. That's how close they had to get around me. But that's a true story, and I didn't make any video. That was the hardest.
There's a little bit of video on my channel of
yeah,
that.
That's right.
Yep.
Mike did make some video of it, but I pushed the limits of a Class C RV. I don't treat my stuff bad. I don't treat my equipment bad, but I feel real guilty. She's going to probably get synthetic on the next oil change, and maybe even a tank of premium gas, because I feel real sorry how this is BT, but she did it, and she did it towing. But there's that story.
We have a couple super chats. Veyros Vapors, a toy for baby Maymay.
Thank you very much.
And that's really nice.
Where's that baby at? Come here, baby Maymay.
Right here.
Oh, she's sleeping.
We also have from JM. We have thank you for your videos. To me, they are very entertaining. Hope to meet up one day. It will be full-time RVing late this summer. Take care.
I know these are the real stars of the show, and I have no problem with that. I just drive them around. I love you, Daddy.
Bigfoot,
I love you too, baby Maymay.
Fifth wheel.
Say that again.
Bigfoot, truck, or camper, or fifth wheel.
Well, I don't think Bigfoot makes a fifth wheel. They make an awesome truck camper. They make an awesome towable. Their towables are insulated just as well as their Class C's. I think the last Bigfoot Class C made was a 2008, 2009, and the crash of 07 got them. And they had to restructure their program. They went back to their roots, and they went back to truck campers and towables. I'm hoping that they'll go back to making Class C's again, because in my opinion, there's nothing on the road that matches a Bigfoot. The glass in my Bigfoot thermopane was 1/2 inch wide, 1/2 inch thick. Well, the roof, you can look up in these vents and you can see how thick this is. They were double thick. So the insulation in the ceiling was, I forget the numbers now, but it's almost a house. You go to -30, there's no way I'd even want to do 5 degrees or 10 degrees, and I could do 10. I'd hate to go 0 in this BT Cruiser. But those Bigfoots, if you can get your hands on one, I'd say get it. The only thing that would keep me from a Class C Bigfoot would be if it had that 6.0 Ford in it. So, I mean, unless you want to spend $10,000 on that engine and bulletproof it, then you'd have a good engine. But go with a V10. And the best V10s were, I've been told, from 1997 or 8 to 2003. In 2004, they started having some problems. Of course, if you got one of those and hadn't gave you any problems so far, then you got a good one. But kind of, I think they were blowing spark plugs out.
It says, so why did you sell your Bigfoot?
To get something shorter. At the time, I still had my business going, and I had an enclosed trailer. If you look back in my videos, you'll see an enclosed trailer build that I did. The front half was living quarters. The back half held all my tools. And I thought at the time, this was before YouTube kind of got, before I got better at YouTube and before my channel took off, I thought that I was going to have to use it. So the enclosed trailer was 20 feet tongue to end. The Bigfoot was 30, and it's like taking a train down the road. It was even a lot towing it with this BT Cruiser, and I did that some. So that's why I got rid of the Bigfoot, was to get a shorter trailer. And then, as it turns out, I shut the business down. YouTube took off, and you guys know the rest of the story.
We have from RF Guy a super chat. We would also like to thank him.
Thank you, sir.
We also have someone that asked what our channel was. It's Van Life Sheldon's Travels. If you'd like to check that out, we'd really appreciate you coming over to our channel.
They're working.
People asking.
They're working real hard at growing their channel. It's real hard to get off the ground, and best way to get your channel off the ground is by networking. And they're good, honest people. They treat me right. I trust them, and they're like me. They're getting better at it every day.
Is YouTube the only source of income? I ask because I'm trying to justify getting rid of the brick and mortar.
No, I have other sources of income. And while we're on the income thing, you know, a lot of people are. I have to be careful how I say this. They say that I'm in YouTube for the money or whatever. I do YouTube because I enjoy it. I have other skills and talents that if I was into making money, I got ways I could make money. But I enjoy doing the YouTube very, very much, and I'm passionate about it. I think the best part is I'm making so many friends. Every town, everywhere I stop, every campground, it seems there's somebody that knows me, and I really, really enjoy that. And that's what's important. And they said, well, would you do it if it wasn't for any AdSense or anything? Well, sure, I would do it, but I'd probably do it twice a week or 3 times a week, not 4 or 5 times a week, because I'd be busy doing something else so I could cover my bills.
Okay, so Mike and Cindy Travels, they sent, I guess, 3 messages. I seen one message that said, can you tell them about my message? I didn't see the message, so I don't know.
Mike and Cindy Travels, please send your message again.
It says, tell Kevin I tried to send a message, but maybe they're not getting it, so I'm getting everyone but the one she's talking about.
Okay, well, maybe if you could type that again. This chat's going through so fast.
Yeah, someone asked for shorter answers.
Shorter answer. Yeah, and I can't see it, or else I'll be sitting here looking under. What does it mean, the bulletproof? The diesel mechanics had figured out what was wrong with Ford's initial build. The 6.0 diesel was a complete and utter failure. I guess it almost bankrupted several dealers. I don't know the exact steps that were taken, but I can tell you who does. I like watching Loloho, Long Honeymoon, on YouTube, and he's got his truck named Seymour, and it's got the 6.0 in it. He pulls his Airstream, him and his wife, and he has done several videos on bulletproofing that 6.0 engine. And once all the things that were failing in that engine are replaced, it's supposedly an incredible engine. Now, I've had 4 7.3s, and I've had 5 speeds behind them, 6 speeds behind them, automatics behind them. The 7.3 from 90, the early years were internationals and they were non-turbos. Those were good engines, but they were loud. Good engines. But I think it was 93 they came out with that turbo, and they run it to 2003. And I'm here to tell you, just couldn't keep a transmission, an automatic transmission behind one, or a rear end. So much torque, so much power, but it was worth it. I averaged anywhere from 13 to 16 miles per gallon. I never had one of those 7.3s that got that incredible 20 miles per gallon, and mine were chipped. So that's my experience with Power Strokes. But I tell you, I'm a V10 man now. After 3 V10s, I had to put an intake gasket and a timing set on that Bob the Bug Out bus, and it had 180,000 miles on it. We cracked that engine up clean on the inside, put a new intake gasket on it, put that timing set on the front, and when I sold it to a guy in Colorado. He was a bicycle racer, BMX racer kind of guy. He stayed on me for a year to buy that thing, and he just caught me in the mood, and I sold it. Should have kept it. I liked it a lot. Used no oil, not a drop. Didn't use any oil at 180,000 miles. So, if you're out there shopping for an RV and it might have 75, 80,000 miles on that V10, I don't know if I'd let it scare you or not. Just means you buy a little bit cheaper, but I know how far they'll go.
How many miles will you put on your rig before you update, and do you regret getting a smaller rig?
I've had a dozen RVs now. I like the BT Cruiser. I'm not in love with it. I like it. I bought it at 32,000 miles. I think I put 20,000 miles on it since I had it. I think I've had it 2 years, something like that. I'm kind of toying with the idea. I don't think I ever answered about the rooftop tent thing, did I?
No, you didn't. We had a couple of questions about what type and what size. What were you thinking? Is there a company you want? I know those are questions that are kind of
I'm holding
in
this
the air, right? But
I'm holding this camera, and I got a little shout out to a close friend of mine. I'm just going to say the initials BF. If you're watching, hello. It was built for a small tent. Of course, it's not a big roof. I don't want to give the company name out quite yet. There are 2 or 3 that will work well, but I honestly believe that that someone's going to sponsor me with a rooftop tent. And if they don't, I can purchase one for right around $1,000, and I will. And why am I doing it? When I was camping at Mount Lemmon on the backside, I took this tracker off-road and went up this canyon, and we worked, there's a video on it, probably went up that canyon 7 or 8 miles, and I went up in there where there were nothing but motorcycles and real small side-by-sides could get. And I found fire rings and campsites where nobody else could get to, and some of the views were just absolutely amazing. So I want to take all of you. I want to show you so bad what I found, and I want to camp in those places and take you with me.
Can I see your computer for a second?
Yeah. I'm gonna bounce the camera here. Hold on.
They also say it needs some light in here. The image is kind of
dark.
So I can do that.
Turn some lights on for them.
All right.
Let me see.
Thank you, Mike and Stephanie, for helping me. Is this better? Yeah, I think it's better. And then I just want to challenge myself. This is what I'm kind of thinking. And they always say if you want to make God laugh, tell him you got plans. But I'm kind of planning this. I'll pull into an area, put this RV into RV storage, and I'll take the tracker out for 3 days to a week to a month. And so I'll have the RV in the center, and then I'll work the area around, and I'll take us all camping. I just want to challenge myself to see how far I can take this. So this will be like my house, and the tracker will kind of be like my camper.
I'm going to raise my hand when there's a good question. It says, have you thought about an LED bar on the rack in front or in the rear?
Well, honestly, I just ordered some LED round lights today. I thought about putting on, I like those LED bars, they look good. But the tracker is old school, so I wanted the old school round lights, but I'm going to go with the LEDs. They were ordered today. The tent, I don't know which way it's going to open, but since the lights are there, you'll have to open up to the, see, it's going to fold, it's like a sandwich, and then it'll open up flat. It'll either go over the driver door, passenger door, or over the back. But I'm real excited about it. But yeah, I kind of have to budget everything. You know, the tires and the rack and everything and the purchasing. When I come out west, I wasn't planning on spending any money on trackers and stuff, so I've had to budget that in, and I'm taking care of it, and I'll have it soon. So if I don't get sponsored, I'll just purchase one. And I have one viewer, subscriber, said he bought one. He doesn't use it, but it's like 4 or 5 states away. So I just got to figure it out. I'm in no hurry. What's my timeline? You know, if I get it in a month or two, that would suit me. So you have to be a little bit patient. You know, this is the real world, and things don't happen, you know, like Hollywood. So just kind of not getting a whole big hurry about it, but not dragging my feet too much about it either. Everything good over there?
Yeah. I was able to block him now that I have your computer and everything. So me being an admin on you now, I can act as you. So
you know, I've got all this trash blocked on my channel. You know, there are a lot of kids that watch the Wolfpack. They don't care about travel. They just like the dogs. And you know what? A lot of kids, guess what? They go to school and they know how to read. So they get on my channel and they watch the video and they go down and read the comments. And you people that, you know, if you don't like me, fine. You get mad because I block all that stuff. I don't want kids reading that. Come on. You know, I'm trying to keep it family friendly. Nobody wants to see that. And you're not hurting me. You know, you guys have went out and did your very best to ruin several people that I know that didn't deserve it. But did you hurt them? No. You just made them more popular, more successful.
You're getting a lot of positive feedback now that the one troll is gone.
I'm real sorry, but we can't cut it all out. And it's all I can do to hold this thing and talk to you. They're doing their best over here. But why? If you got a problem with me, I got it. Campervan Kevin, AOL.com.
Yeah, people are wondering how are the Wolfpack gonna live in the tracker?
I don't know. with me.
Somehow, right?
Yeah, you know, they'll have the. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm thinking. What I'm planning. I'll take the back seat out. On the left-hand side, first will be a cooler, and then eventually be a 12-volt refrigerator, an ARB, not a Dometic this time, ARB. Then on the right side, it's going to be a small set of cabinets. It's going to hold my underclothes and kitchen stuff and my other stuff. and that's going to take up the whole back of the tracker. So all the babies are going to have is just the passenger seat. I'm going to leave that free and clear for them, because the floorboard is probably going to get used as well. And going in retrospect, I probably should have got a 4-door tracker, because it already had the metal roof. I wouldn't have had to get the bar made. But you know, you're adding like 2 or 3 feet to the length of that chassis. And there are times, even when Mike and Stephanie been with me, we had to turn around on a road that was dead end, and just making those real tight turns and 10-point turns to get turned around. I'd hate to have those other 2 doors back there, so it's kind of a give and take. You know, I searched for that vehicle because it was a short wheelbase, but at the time I really wasn't thinking about this, so I'm gonna make it work. And you know what? If it doesn't work, I'll sell the rooftop tent. I'll put me a little basket up on top, throw firewood and a generator up on it. I'm not hurt. It's all good. But I got a feeling I'm going to like it.
Explain an ARB fridge. I don't know if a lot of people know that they make awnings and other things.
Yeah,
most people understand about a Dometic, but they're not sure exactly what an ARB fridge is.
It's sort of like a lot of companies have manufacturers that make products for them. Mm-hmm. And ARB, they're off-road. They have, I don't know if they manufacture everything they sell that's got their name on it.
We have their awning.
Yeah, their awning, that's right.
That's the awning that we have. And
I had the Dometic CF18, and I hope I'm going to say this right. A Danfoss?
Dan Foster.
Yeah.
A Dan Foster
compressor. And boy, that thing just sipped the power. But the CF18 wasn't big enough for me. I like yogurt, and so yogurt takes up room. I'm just going to, I bought one that was too small. When I sold my enclosed trailer, I sold it with it. Sold my Honda generator with it. Darn it. But I'm going to go like 65. Was it quart? 65 quart? I'm going to take pint.
Yeah, 65 quart.
I'm going to spin around and tell you what I'm planning on doing here. If I keep this RV in a long time, I may. It's solid. It used to have a couch over on this side right here. I built this shelf or seat to hold a 65 quart. I went and measured the refrigerator. I got the measurements offline. And so when this refrigerator is propane and electric, when it goes, I'm going to put a 12 volt right here and run it off my solar. And I'm thinking I'll pull this refrigerator out and put me in a little cub or just a small fireplace there. I think it'd be a great place for it. But right now this RV is working out. You know, I kind of wish that it was a Class C and I had the upper bunk right here, because I'm here to tell you, an RV salesman will tell you that you get better gas mileage with this smaller rounded front. That's not so. Not the many miles I've put on V10s. They don't care. They're just pushing a brick. They don't care if it's got a little more up here in the front. So, but you know, sometimes I think I'd like to have a newer RV, but I would never go over 24 feet. In fact, this has been too long sometimes.
Somebody said, why don't you get a little pop-up camper or a teardrop to go on the back of the tracker?
Good question. I looked into that heavy. There's a couple companies that make some small ones. The Tracker 2-door is only capable of safely carrying and towing 1,000 pounds. That's it. And that really limited me to what I could put behind it. And then I got to thinking, I get off road and I got to turn that thing around or pull it. The rooftop tent just kept coming back to being the better solution. The 4-door trackers can carry 1,500 pounds. That's what I've read. I hope I'm remembering it right. But I'm going to tell you what I think is the perfect rig out here. I've been out here for a while, right? So if I was sitting in Georgia today, and I know what I know about how I'm camping and what everything's like out here, I'll tell you the rig I would build. I would find me a 1986, 1987 Toyota extended cab 4-wheel drive truck with a 22R engine in it, the 4-cylinder, 5-speed. I would then find a all aluminum truck camper that's made for the smaller trucks, but it have the pop-up top on it, like that guy that had over at Casino del Sol in Tucson. I showed you his rig. I forget what I named it. Really nice guy. Now I'm here to tell you, camping BLM, camping desert, playing off-road, doing trails, you got it all covered. So if I were sitting in Georgia today at RV base camp, sitting there with Felix drinking his good old coffee, and I said, Felix, I'm going to build a rig. And he said, what are you going to build? That's what I'd tell him. Because I think that does it all. Fuel mileage, off-road capabilities, you got enough room to sleep, you can still go parking lots, you can go everywhere. You know, I'm not so sure, I haven't seen very many rooftop tents open at super centers. You know, when you're traveling, sometimes that's your only option. So I don't know how that's going to work.
We've noticed a few in our
You've
travels.
Seen some? I haven't seen any.
Not a lot, just a few.
I wonder if these big box stores would frown on someone having a tent on top of their truck. I mean, you know, even if they're RV friendly and they allow campers and trucks and all that, I don't know how they would feel about having someone with a pop-up tent on top. I have no experience doing that. I've had all kind of RVs, but I haven't had that. I hadn't had a truck camper, and I hadn't had a tent on top of a vehicle. Those are all new things to me.
I have some people asking, they're considering moving to Arizona. What do you feel like? How do you feel about Arizona?
I caught that name. That was Jimmy Rance. Mm-hmm. He was one of the first people on the internet that I started noticing. I forget where he's from, Tennessee maybe? I'm going to tell you what, Mr. Jimmy, Arizona's a pretty place. If I didn't have this friend that flew in to Las Vegas for a conference, if I didn't come here to see them, I think I'd still be up there in Sedona or Flagstaff up in those pine trees. You know, down at Empire Ranch, you got the grasslands. I went down to Naco, which is down beside Bisbee, right there at the Mexican border. You got desert, you got grasslands, you got mountains, you got Mount Lemmon. Sights and views and vistas like I've never seen before. You know, I thought Georgia was pretty, but it's like every time you move 20 or 30 miles, you just find this incredible stuff. Antelope out there at Empire Ranch, where they're shooting all those John Wayne and Clint Eastwood movies. Antelope. And that baby, maybe he's asleep. Arizona's beautiful. Have I been here in the summertime? I have not. You know, but I'm sitting here and I can see snow-capped mountains from here. If it gets too hot, I know which direction to head. I'm going to go up a mountain.
You hear her?
She moaning and groaning.
Talking to me about it.
I can't believe these babies. I know y'all didn't come here to see me. I know y'all come here to see them. They just tuckered up.
We have had a couple people asking to see the puppies.
Come on, Tuck. Get your butt up. Oh, man. What you doing to me? Hey, that's me. Hey, Tuck. Who's that? Who is that? Huh? Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody.
We had some people ask if you run your air conditioning now. Are you having to run your air conditioning?
Not yet. Not yet. The hottest it's been, we were at Dome Rock, and it's weird. At 92, I've got a thermometer up here. Let's walk over here. I got a thermometer up here, and it said 92. It's at 80 now. And I was in here, and I was like, well, I'm still comfortable. It's 92 degrees. But when it hit 100, instead of cutting on the generator, I just went around and sat in the shade outside. And I was perfectly fine. So without the humidity, it's been okay. I don't think that's going to work at 115, 120 degrees. I might have cut it on for an hour. Just to run it. Also, my switch on my vent hood, I can cut my generator on with it there. I got an Onan 4,000 watt generator up under this bed, up under the chassis. But I can start it, but my stop button don't stop it. I have to go outside and manually hit the button out there. If anybody has a solution, if any of you guys are RV techs, can tell me, point me in the right direction, please let me know. I put in a new switch that I got at Gamblers in Quartzsite. Didn't change anything. And it's no huge deal. I just go outside and hit the button. It's a lot better when it's hard to get one to stop than it is to get one to start. So I got lucky on that break.
We got questions about your solar and your batteries.
How much solar do you have, and how much battery power do you have, and is it working for you at the moment? And if you'd like to talk about my situation too, and compared to what you have.
Well, see, I run a CPAP. I have severe sleep apnea, and if that puppy cuts off, I cut off. So it has to run. So when I knew I was going to go mobile, I said I got to figure this stuff out.
Somebody asked, how is it traveling with your CPAP?
It's just like being at home. I don't run my humidifier at home. I don't run my humidifier here. If I run my humidifier here, the battery probably wouldn't keep up. I don't think. I have to have a backup to a backup, and I got to have a cushion. So I don't run my humidifier. All right, solar, 320 watts on the top, 2 160 watt panels. This is my charge controller here. Dun, 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 dun. And it's actually a little too small. I need a bigger one, but it works. I've got 4 100 amp AGM batteries, 2 on the outside box, 2 under the bed, and I got videos of all this now. In the wintertime, it just wasn't keeping those 4 batteries charged. So I disconnected one. So in the wintertime, I run 300 amp hours of battery. In the summertime, when I get more power, the sun's up longer, the days are longer, the sun's at a better angle, I hook up 4. So it's kind of weird. When I was in Quartzsite the first year at the RTR, I paid a guy to come out and do a solar checkup on it. Cost best $65 I ever spent. He went through this thing and told me exactly what I did right, exactly what I did wrong, and what to do. He said, you never hooked up this stuff before? I said, no. I said, I used to hook up car stereo though. And I used to compete in car stereo. That's why I can't hear too good. I thought it was funny to try and break windshields with bass. I was all into those boom cars. I even won first place in my first competition in my power wattage. But that stuff doesn't matter now. All that matters now is I can't hear. And I don't listen to the radio. I crack the window and I listen to the exhaust.
I have a real quick shout out. It says T-Power, Campervan Kevin, my daughter loves the personalized Wolfpack sticker you sent home with me. Thank you for keeping your channel family friendly. It's better than the junk you watch on TV.
I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Someone thanked us for having a family friendly, I'm going to say this. Campervan Kevin is my best Kevin. Does that make sense? Campervan Kevin is the Kevin that I've strived to be. And now I've been Campervan Kevin for so long now, Campervan Kevin. Does that make any sense whatsoever? But, I tell people I'm just a guy. I'm an imperfect guy, I never been in jail, never done, I'm not perfect, okay? And I don't set me so high up on a pedestal. When I fall, I hurt. I'm just a guy. I'm just helping people, making friends, and trying to figure out this RV lifestyle. Just trying to perfect it, and take you guys with me. But thank you for that. I think I know who you're talking about. I sent their daughter one. Did you see their name?
I did. T-Power.
P-Power?
T-Power.
T-Power, yeah.
T-Power.
Yeah, it doesn't have an actual name.
Okay. It was a lady, right? It was
Doesn't really say.
I think it was.
It's hard to
Okay, T-Power. Doing a shout out to you. Thank you for watching me in the Wolfpack.
Also, Hulu Shack, love from Florida on a super chat.
Yeah.
Really nice.
That's a great couple from Florida, and they watch a lot of us RV YouTubers out here. They're always real friendly and have advice and support. And I have days that I'm down too, you know, I'm not always happy and excited and ready to tackle the world. I have days where I'm a little bit down, and when somebody says something nice to me or sends me a nice message, you never know how, when you're kind to somebody, where they're at. I mean, everybody's fighting, everybody's struggling, right? Everybody's fighting a battle you know nothing about. And kindness is free. And you never know how that kindness is going to affect somebody else, because sometimes when you guys send me a nice message or kind comment, it helps me. It helps pick me up. So we're helping each other. But yep, Hulu Shack down there in Florida, they're good people.
We have Dylan Montgomery has asked a few times. Kevin, my neighbor, has a Sullivan Sports Go pop-up camper. He tows it behind the Suzuki Samurai. Ever looked into them? It's tiny. I figured it's kind of something like you did a video of, right?
I don't know what a Sullivan is, but I'll tell you what I did look into. I did look into motorcycle pop-up campers, and I came real close. Because some of those weigh in 400 or 500. I think Bob Wells just did a video on these guys down in Florida that are making these little teardrops, just real simple. And I should remember the name, but I don't. And they have a motorcycle camper. I don't want to tow a trailer up some of the places that I've gone. And if I took it and I left it in the campground or whatever, then I have to chain it to a tree, or I have to chain it to somebody, just pick it up and throw it on the ball of the truck and they're gone. You know, and I'd be out of $3,000 or $4,000. If somebody wants that rooftop tent, they're going to have to fight me for it. They're going to have to work at it. Might get bit by the wolf pack too.
I want to say hi to Mike Nice.
Mike!
He was the one earlier that we couldn't find his name, so that's...
Yeah.
Mike, if you're there, buddy, I think the world of you.
He would like for you to call him.
So I've heard. You're a good man, Mike. You're a good man. Felix has told me as much, and I just haven't done it. Mike's one of the nicest people I've ever met, no doubt.
T Power said that was for my Shelby. She's going to flip that you saw that she saw.
Oh,
that.
for Shelby.
So
I'm taking the shout out back from T Power, and I'm going. We're taking it back, and then we're going to say, "Hey, Shelby, there's a shout out for you."
And then a good question is, do you see many disabled RVers on the road?
Yes. Surprising number. I see a lot of people struggling getting in and out of their RVs. Not everybody that's out here is doing it because they love it. A lot of people are doing this because they have to. The world has changed. There are a lot of desperate people that are hurting and doing the best they can do. What do you see, Tuck?
We've got a couple of things. We've had a couple people ask, who are you with? We're actually Van Life Sheldon's Travels, Mike and Stephanie.
This is Martini.
Basically, and there's baby May. Tucker's coming around the corner. We've had some people ask out if you know RV Prepper Wayne. We've also had a few people say, have you checked the ground wire of your generator?
I will.
And if we're not seeing your question, I'm really sorry. They're scrolling really fast. Please type it again. We'd like to...
I'm sitting here watching it, and it's going faster than I can read it. And this is all I can do to do this. I don't see how people do this without 2 or 3 people.
It's kind of difficult.
Yeah, I saw Bob do it the other day with no moderate. Bob Wells, Cheap RV Living. I saw him do it the other day by himself. I was like, okay, you're tougher than me. But this is only my second one. You guys having fun? I'm having fun. Are we having fun yet? You know, everybody does this different, right? What were some of the questions? Disabled people? Yeah, a lot of disabled people are doing this because they have to.
Where are we going to next? I'm seeing that a lot. I really hate to ask that question, but
travel?
What are your travel?
Are you gonna be coming to Washington? Do you plan on going to Michigan? When are you coming back home?
I got you.
Colorado.
We got to talk about RV Prepper Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy. I wish I was 1/10 as handy as that man is. I'm not as handy as you guys think I am. I mean, I used to do paint and body work, and I used to do my brakes and belts and stuff on my own car, but that was a long time ago. And then by the time I was done, half my tools were out in the woods. I get so mad. Or then you need something and you can't, your car's broke down and you can't get to the store to get it. I found a long time ago, it's let people that are good at what they do fix it, and then you do what you're good at, and then it all, if you can, it all works out. I can get myself off the side of the road most of the time. Where are we headed? I couldn't tell you. I'm making this up day by day.
We have no clue. We don't know where we're going tomorrow.
Right,
I don't want to be too hot.
Answer more questions. So if we could get shorter answers, it says, how much money, in your opinion, do you need to get started on the road after your rig is built?
How much money does it take to live out here on the road? I'm going to say this. I think that's different for everybody, because everybody spends money different. But if you don't have if you don't have access to $5,000, or you don't have $5,000 in your checking account or savings account, don't come out, because you've got to have enough to put in an engine and or a transmission.
Or solar, or if like your batteries go out, like my batteries are acting up, you have to have extra money to fix those
I'm thinking if you don't have $5,000, don't come out. I mean, people do what they have to do, and when you're desperate, you do what you have to do. But I would, if you don't have access to it, you might get in a place you can't get yourself out of.
Somebody asked about your hat. Does it have a story behind it? You always wear it.
Well, would you believe that I didn't wear a build cap? Well, I played baseball for a little bit. I was a horrible pitcher, but I pitched a little bit, and that was the last baseball cap I wore. So my whole life, I never wore a hat till about, well, this might have been one of my first hats. I've had this 2 years, and I've worn it ever since. I like wearing it. See, I'm one of these big old waterhead babies. I got one of these big old heads, and I used to think that the hat just made it look bigger, and then with a little bit of southern drawl to it, just makes me a little bit more country than I probably am. So, yeah, I may take this space right here and have a sponsor and do a little advertising. I don't do anything for the pawn store. I just kind of like the hat.
What surprised you most about the traveling lifestyle, and do you get lonely on the road?
And how is your back feeling?
What surprises me most about being out here in the West or traveling? I take good care of my equipment. I'm not one that spins tires, jerks stuff around, beats stuff up. That's not me. But if you're out here and you're living for free or trying to live for free out here on this BLM land, I am shocked at just how much abuse that you're having to put these rigs through. It's rough. Some of these roads are rough. And what was another question? Got it.
How is your back doing? Are you feeling okay out here? And are you going to a chiropractor? Or?
I had a chiropractor in Athens work on my back for 4 or 5 months, and almost daily, 4 to 5 times a week, and he was unable to get my back to stay stable. Sometimes I wished I wouldn't have talked about it on my channel. It has forced me to live another life, and I like my new life. It's hard leaving my old life. My goal was to be the hardest working contractor on the job. And I've always worked hard. I grew up on a farm. We had chickens, we had cows. I always worked hard. I liked working, but I can't do that anymore. Thank goodness the YouTube took off for me. My only option is surgery. That's all that's left. That or pain management. And pain management means pills. Now, I've taken enough ibuprofen to fill up the back of a transfer truck, but I have never taken any codeine or any narcotics or anything for my back, doctor prescribed or not. I've had many doctors that tried to force them on me, and the reason why, I've had 2 friends that committed suicide after back surgery, and pain management. Like I said, sometimes I wished I wouldn't have talked about it, but then all these people tell me that I helped them. I think chiropractic care is a wonderful thing. Dr. Barry in Athens, a big shout out to him. He didn't have to help me, and he did. He did all he could for me, but he said I'm the third person in 30 years he ever met that was so unstable that it just wouldn't stay. But out here in the West, it's drier. I don't have quite the inflammation, and I struggle. I try to hide it from the channel. I'll be honest with you. I don't want people to see me struggling with it. But it's a part of my life, and it's going to be a part of my life. And I'm doing the best I can with it. And I will have surgery only when it's an emergency, and there's no other options.
Do you want to talk about how you have been exercising a little bit more? I've noticed that you've been taking some good walks in the morning and the evening to help with those situations.
About all the best exercise I can do is walking, and I have put on weight. I lost a lot of weight when I started the channel, and now I'm back up. I think I'm at least 275, and I can carry it. I got a tummy. I'm not perfect. I'm 50 years old. I'm definitely no swimsuit model anymore. Not that I ever was, but it's just life. It's just getting older. Getting old isn't for no wusses. And I'm in that transition. I'm in that area, just like a lot of people are. And I'm gonna say this: I'm thankful to be as healthy as I am. I've always worked hard, so I'm still strong in a lot of ways, and then I have my weaknesses too. But it could be a lot worse.
Granny TG, the one thing that pressed me was you saving the Bible that was trashed. Please tell him I said that. Another person asked, how did you hear about the Bon Ton store? And how do you keep up with the news while traveling?
Okay. The Bible. Some people said that Bible was left there because they had a drink and an orange and they was hoping someone would find it. I don't know. It looked like it sat there for quite a long time. I was raised to that the King James Bible is the only Bible and that you're not supposed to read another Bible kind of thing. I'm from the South, and we had the fire and brimstone kind of preaching, and that's what I grew up with. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a horrible Christian. You won't find one worse than me. I'll lose a pound of flesh when I go through the gates. We're going to leave it at that. But it was an international Bible, and I haven't read a Bible in a long time. And I've started this new thing where I'll some mornings. Not every morning, some mornings I'll crack open the Bible, round and round, I'll hit a verse and I'll read it. And then if it makes sense to me, or I'll read another verse. But I've always struggled reading the Bible, and it might have been because it was a King James and not the New International. It's hard for me to understand, to follow. And I keep it, and I'm glad I got it. I don't know what that Bond store was. What was the other question?
What was your other question?
How do you keep with...
Oh, how do I keep up with the news? Well, I'm a conspiracy guy from way back, and I don't talk about it on the channel. I keep that stuff off the channel. I don't believe in the mainstream news. I don't even... I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm a libertarian, and I believe the Bill of Rights, the United States Constitution, gives the most people the most freedom. It is not a perfect document. God didn't write it. Man did. It's not perfect, but it's the shining beacon of the world. We got our problems, and it's not perfect. But that being said, I don't believe any of our news media, and I have several people that I listen to on the internet that it's taken me a long time to see their track record and what they had to say and how accurate they were. And I have about 15 or 20 people that I listen to on economics and world events and world news. So my thoughts are a little bit different than what most people read in a newspaper or see on TV.
Okay, so we have a lot of suggestions about natural medicines you could take or over-the-counter medicines you could take at Walmart. So I guess the real question is, how do you feel about natural medicines?
You know, and I've heard in Europe that they don't even allow vitamins anymore. Vitamins have to be prescribed by a doctor. I believe our food is poisoned. I believe our medicine is poisoned. I'm a conspiracy guy, but you guys, you know, I'd make just as many friends as enemies if I was to say stuff like that on the internet. Natural's always best. I find it very difficult to go to the grocery store, and I get very angry over two things: the prices, and I can't find clean, safe food. You know, all the food's on the outside aisles of a grocery store. If you ever notice, all the inside stuff is fluff and processed and GMO and all that. You know, go in there and buy your paper plates and whatever, your hot sauce maybe, but all the food's on the outside edges of a grocery store. So yeah, natural medicine is always the best. There's been like, I think there were over 35 doctors that quote unquote had accidents last year and died, that were trying to teach the world a better way and better medicine, and they're not here. Some of the world's leading authorities on natural medicine, they're not here now. So I guess you got to be kind of careful what you say and what you don't say. You blocking people?
Yeah, I'm having to block some people. That's okay though.
Just one person.
Just one person.
There's always a fly in the ointment.
We've had a question. Have you ever considered a composting toilet or lifting the BT Cruiser and making it a little taller?
I wouldn't want to lift the BT Cruiser or put it four-wheel drive under it, because it would put me in places that I shouldn't go. I'm already taking enough chances, and if I had four-wheel drive, I'd take even more chances. Composting toilet. I had a composting bucket toilet in my work van for many, many years. I'm familiar on how to use it, and no odor and whatnot. I like them very much. I just haven't gone to the trouble of doing it here. Just one of those things I hadn't got around to. But yeah, I think composting is the way to go. I sure do. Well, we have almost 600 people on here.
553
Woo!
watching. We have 379 thumbs up. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button.
Hit the thumbs up.
Thank you for all your comments.
How
A
long-
lot of really nice things.
We've been on an hour?
Yes, we have.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
I don't know how much battery power I got left on this thing. How can I check?
Just scroll down from the top real gently, not by the X, but just scroll down in the middle, all the way at the top. Go all the way to the top.
So
all
you've
the way
got a couple people you
all
could...
the way, not like that. Just up on.
We're going to check the battery power here.
You could say pass if you want to, but a lot of people are wondering about
I'm
what
gonna
is
plug it
your
up.
opinion on weed.
On weed?
If more than 3 people didn't ask, I want you to.
Okay, I got an opinion on that. Let me plug. I'm plugging up the phone here.
They want to know for your back.
For your back, and you know.
Yeah, that's the only reason they think you would.
Okay. We ought to be juicing now.
Well, I guess that would go.
Marijuana. Believe it or not, I never did it. I got friends that did it. I got friends that do it. I don't stay around them very much. I think that marijuana is safe. Probably. I think once the brain is developed and you're over 20 or so, 25 or so, it's probably a lot safer than many of the medicines that they're giving now. If I live to be 70 years old, I made a deal with myself. I love Pink Floyd, okay? I'm gonna go find one of my friends that smokes pot, and I'm gonna get a joint, and I'm gonna have him make me the good stuff. And I'm gonna turn on Dark Side of the Moon, and for my 70th birthday party, I'm gonna get in a nice dark room with a killer sound stereo. And I'm gonna smoke a joint and listen to Dark Side of the Moon. I've always heard it sounds so much better. But I think where marijuana is, I think it can put big pharma out. I think it's the cure for cancer. And if it's not the cure, it sure helps these people. And I think if it's natural and it's helping people, I think people should be allowed access to it. It's not perfect, but I tell you what, when you're hurting, you do what you got to do. And so far, I haven't had to cross that bridge yet. But I'm not going to judge anybody on it. But I think it's dangerous if it's not legal where you're at. That's a whole lot of trouble that you don't want.
Jimmy Rant says we could go another hour.
Yeah, well then, what are these guys going to do right here? They'll never do another live chat with me.
We don't.
Yeah, are you finding out stuff about Campervan, Kevin, that you didn't know? I hope it's stuff that you like. And
So
we had a couple questions, kind of. Are you going to keep traveling with Van Life Sheldon's Travels? Do you have?
I'm gonna ditch them. I'm gonna ditch them the first time. The first time they go into a Walmart, I'm gonna take and cut their valve stem on 2 tires and flatten it, and I'm gonna put our little walkie-talkie in the exhaust pipe, and I'm gonna hit the road. No, it's like this. I'm mostly a loner. I enjoyed traveling with Caroline. I enjoyed traveling with Aja, Eric, Brian. And I enjoy traveling with Mike and Stephanie. We may travel together another day. We may travel together another week or a month. But if it holds true to what's always happened, you make friends and then you leave friends. So while you've got friends in your life, you enjoy your friends and you're good to them. And I know that when it comes our time to part ways, that just means I'm going to be making more friends down the road. And that's just kind of how it works. Doesn't mean I don't care for them, don't like them. That's what I'm finding out out here. And if they ever need me, I'm kind of hoping that we can put together some kind of a network for us YouTubers, a support system of sorts. And there may be one in place, and I just hadn't been invited yet. But that we help each other. I see this as a community that's growing, and I see us together as strong. And I think we should all help all of us. But I think the YouTubers we can all work together because we have a lot of the same problems and a lot of the same goals, and we should work together as a community to improve our community.
They are saying you're very interesting now. They do feel closer to you after this live stream. Bernie Cat says, yes, you are suddenly even more interesting. You need a second channel. LOL. CBK gets real.
I can't run this one. You
you
know
no
what?
Idea.
I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining. No. I don't. If you wouldn't believe the amount of time that goes into this, it blows my mind. You know, when I told you a while ago that when I was a contractor, my goal was to be the hardest working guy there. When I showed up, at the end of the day, I wanted everybody shaking their head and said, "You see that guy? You see what he did today? That was me." Okay, so I started traveling with, we had Eric and Aja and Brian. I think we were all together. I can't remember, but you know what? I wasn't the hardest working guy there. I'd be sitting there enjoying a fire, and I turn around. She's got a time lapse going of the stars. Eric, he's about in the fire trying to film it. Someone else is over there editing. They're gone. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. To grow your channel, that's how you got to work. You got to work hard. And how many hours am I gone a day? 7, 8?
At least 5. A minimum of 5. There's at least 5, and some days it's longer, and other days it's but a minimum of 5.
And
so 5 to 7.
If you're not on the computer, you're not with a camera, then you're having to plan your trip, and
And with us traveling together, it kind of makes it easier. One of us can plan the trip today or this time and the next time, so we have more time to do other things.
And you have to ask yourself, is there 10 minutes of my day that someone else might even find interesting? And I think Eric and Aja, they're much better photographers than I am. They know camera lingo and video lingo. I don't know what they're talking about. I think the Wolf Pack, I think they help me. People seem to like my personality okay, and I think I can tell a story. And I think if there is a gift here, is that I can see beauty in small things and big things, and somehow I found a way to connect to show you. If I haven't, I'm trying. So if my channel has a strong point, I think that's it. And I like to mix it up. When you hit the button, when you see a Campervan Kevin video, I want you to sit there and say, I don't know what this guy's got done today. It's no telling what's going to be on his channel. I want it to be a complete surprise and a whole different style. And I think that's working. We're fixing to hit 30,000 subs.
Someone said congratulations on almost hitting 30,000 subs.
We're close.
Suzanne said she's going to bed, so good night to Suzanne. Somebody asked, do you like Mountain Dew?
Oh, hush, hush, hush. Okay. You know what? My goal all along was 30,000 subs, and I'm at 20. We have.
I think that's Wes.
Yeah, we had somebody walk by the RV, and we're at 29.5, and we're at 4,775,000 views. Subs are important, but the views are what's most important, and so I'm really not thinking about subs so much anymore as views. Mountain Dew. I was addicted to Mountain Dew. If you don't think that stuff's not addictive, you're lying to yourself.
We're addicted to Mountain Dew.
These guys right here.
Guilty conscience over here.
Oh yeah, now listen. The only way I could get off Mountain Dew, I got on Diet Coke, and that stuff like to kill me. The artificial sweeteners in it. This is when I was in my bounder. This is way before YouTube. This was 14, 16 years ago when I had my bounder. But I hadn't had a Mountain Dew in 8 years, and they brought in 3 12-packs that were cold, and I just sat there and gave him a dirty look. And Mike says, "What did I do?" I said, "You don't have a clue." I said, "I feel like I could cut you." Well, what did I do? And I told him that you could feel right now, this very minute, go get you a water tower and drain it out and fill that sucker full of Mountain Dew, run you a straw down. I'd lay under it. I'd lay under that sucker and look up at the bottom of the water tower. I could empty it flat. I love a Mountain Dew. The only soft drinks, I had that one Mountain Dew the other day, and I like an orange cream soda, and then there's a Mexican soft drink made with pure cane sugar called a Jarrito, and I'll have 1 or 2 of those per month. And the rest of the time, I just drink water.
Someone asked if you were a coffeeaholic.
Yeah, thanks, Felix. I never made my own coffee. Never even drank that much coffee till I was about 40, and I dated this. And then there's a long time I didn't drink coffee. I drink maybe 3 cups a week.
Somebody asked, are you still eating your breakfast burritos, and are you going to do any more cooking videos?
Yeah, I need to do some cooking bits. That was fun, but it's so hard getting the light in here right. And then you remember I used to have my GoPro, and I had this new little GoPro I got. It's just horrible, and I've tried filming, and I don't like using it. And you're trying to hold one hand, I hadn't done it. But yeah, I make a mean chicken parmesan. Show the world how to make that. Little breading, little Ritz crackers, mozzarella. I'm just saying.
Some people say you need to get you an Instapot. I agree. If I had as much solar and battery, I would get me an Instapot.
I don't know what an Instapot is, so it's like a 12-up.
It's a 110, but it can make rice, or you can put a whole meal in there and just close it up, and a couple hours later it's done.
I had a rice cooker, and his name was Felix. That man could cook some rice. I think he told me his mama had him cooking rice at 5 years old, and oh man, Felix could cook.
Some people suggested a gimbal like I have that has a small tripod for when you're cooking your videos, and a light also.
Yeah. There's tons of things out here to see, and I think the best thing I did for my channel was the new editing program, and I learned how to use music better. I learned how to edit better. I think the last 6 or 8 months, the YouTube editor was all I used, and I can make it sit up and spin, but I was so limited by it. Would you believe my first video, I didn't even hardly know how to use a camera phone. I had no intentions of getting into YouTube. I never made a video. I didn't know how to edit. I just wondered if I could do it. And so I kind of challenged myself to do it, and thank goodness I did. I didn't know that my health was going to be failing as quickly as it was. And yay, thank goodness for YouTube.
Good night, I'm just been me.
Oh, wow. All right, we're at 1 hour and 25 minutes. Let's go for 4.5 more minutes.
All right.
And see if we can find a question from somebody's name that starts with an N.
N. Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Now it's a game for us.
Yeah.
It's a game. Nancy.
Nancy. Yep. Okay.
Just wanted to say that I appreciate you in the Wolfpack too. Living in Prescott Valley for almost 12 years.
Woo! You're living in heaven, darling. That's a beautiful place.
Pressure cooker is a Vanner's microwave. Not a question, but Norm Lewis said that, and it starts with an N.
Well, let me ask you this, because I'm going to go back and read these comments when we cut it off. Did you guys enjoy this? Is this something you want to do again? I had a ball. We can do it, figure out how to do it. I may have to do it by myself or whatever.
Tom Brown says he enjoyed it. Have a great night, y'all.
Okay.
I want to say thank you. I know we've had a lot of people saying thank you to me and Stephanie. We really want to appreciate all the nice things you guys are saying. And we've picked up 20 or 30 of you as subscribers. We really, really appreciate that.
These are all your yes, do it again. We really enjoyed your live stream.
It's coming so fast.
There's
all these yeses and thumbs ups and.
Can you hear them good when they're talking in here like this? We got the fan on up here. A little feedback on that, please. 3 minutes.
Chats. Yes,
we have 500 people on here.
506 people.
Woo! What's the highest? I wonder how it got.
Someone says you are so interesting. I could listen to you for hours.
It's just that southern drawl.
T Power said Eric and Aja are really nice, but they enjoy your southern charm.
I'll tell you what, they're both of them have been good to me and kind to me.
How is the weather? Is it still windy here?
Yes, it's still windy here. Aja is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. That's good people. Smart. She ought to have 500,000 subscribers. Good person. Taught me a lot, and it's benefited this channel a lot.
Up to 590 people, someone said at one time.
Wow. But I couldn't do this without everyone, and I don't know what I did exactly, because there are a lot of talented people here. There are a lot of people that can do better videos than me. I know where I'm at, and I know where I'm at with my skill level on YouTube and editing and camera work. I know there's lots of room for improvement. I know there's people that's better than me, but there's you guys like me for some reason, and I'm happy, and I'm glad, and I really enjoy this.
Edith said she wrote a question 6 times and neither one of us caught it.
Okay, Edith, this will be the last question. We got a minute and a half. What is it?
Or later when you go back off a live stream and go back and answer questions, you'll answer it then.
Well, let's just do it now. What was our question?
Let me see if I can go back.
Edith, please post your question again, please. And maybe we wanted to do this outside. And I realized that we're doing it a little bit late. When I said 7, I meant to say 5. So do we need to go? Do you think we need to do an earlier live stream? I got to figure out a day and a time that works for the most people. Edith, are you still there? Can you make that question?
I'm not seeing it.
I'm going back, and I don't.
All right. Well, we're sorry we missed it. One more question. Then we're going. That's the last question of the night. And then I gotta cut my help go. These lovebirds right here. Oh, do I get lonely on the road?
There you go.
Well, I recently started doing a little dating out here, That's going to be our question, because it was asked a while ago about dating.
That works.
If I can find her.
I've been divorced for several years now, and I really haven't cared for dating. And it's always been I just ruled it out completely. It's not something that I was interested in. But I recently went out on a few dates with someone, and I very much enjoyed it. But we're traveling in two different directions. It wasn't terror. How do you answer these questions? I did this to myself.
I didn't ask you this one.
I know. I asked myself. But I do intend to keep my private life private, because I share so much of everything else. So, yes, I'm more open-minded to dating now for the right person.
Oh, bam! I found Edith.
Found Edith? Okay.
What kind of business do you have? I'm so sorry you had to write that 7 times. What kind of business do you have?
I was just a contractor. Nothing fancy. I had it for almost 3 decades. So that's it. This is it. Hey, this is a lot better than the last one, right? Last one sucked.
I think so. I think this was on.
It took 3 people, 5 different internet carriers, 4 computers. We got it. I had a backup to a backup to a backup. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for watching my live chat. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Had a great time.
Forrest Gump wave.
Bye. Thank you.